We came into the 2023 college football season expecting it to be a weaker cornerback draft class than we have seen in previous years. However, it's quite the opposite. So many guys completely boosted their draft stock, and the cornerback position is filled with so many intriguing options who could be really valuable starters at the next level. One of the players who throughout the pre-draft process has looked very impressive is Notre Dame cornerback Cam Hart. This is a guy who I'm a pretty big fan of, and he's moved up my board quite a bit after a very strong showing. In today's video, we will be going over what makes Hart one of the more intriguing cornerback prospects in the class, and ultimately predicting where he is selected. If you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and let me know which players you guys would like to see me talk about in a future video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Hart is a player who I admittedly was pretty low on coming into the season. He had some tools I really liked, but it just felt like he was missing that big piece of his game. His production was very lacking to me. In 568 snaps in 2022, Hart allowed 22 completions for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. The ball production was incredibly limited as well. He had 0 interceptions and 4 pass deflections on the year. His 2023 season was better, however. He played 572 snaps and only allowed 138 yards. He still did not produce an interception and only had 4 pass deflections, and that's been a big issue for him throughout his collegiate career. Hart only has 2 career interceptions. His tape is solid, however, and including his best game, which came against Marvin Harrison Jr., and he flashes some serious potential. After what he did in Mobile at the Senior Bowl and a pretty solid showing at the Combine, Hart looks to be moving up a lot of people's boards. The thing that separates Hart from some of the other cornerback prospects in this class is his size. He is 6'3", 202 pounds, and he has absolutely fantastic size for the outside corner. He has the ideal height, weight, but his wingspan also really sticks out. He has a nearly 78-inch wingspan, which is absolutely absurd, and he has one of the better frames of any corner in this class. Hart also shows some really solid speed as well, particularly his recovery speed. He had a 1.57 second 10-yard split, and if he does lose a step in coverage, which he does tend to do from time to time, he has the quickness and the instincts to put himself back in the play. He isn't a burner necessarily, and he's not going to blow by you with his speed, but he is quick and a very smart football player. When you mix his speed with the ability that he has in terms of flexing his hips and how flexible he is, he's a really solid mover, and there's quite a bit to like from that. Another area I love from Cam Hart is his tackling ability. He is an extremely hard hitter who does a very good job at snuffing out screens. He comes down, reacts quickly, and he has the ability to land some pretty hard hits on receivers, which is absolutely something I love to see from him. He is very good in both man and press man coverage. His overall traits are incredible, and he has the ability to play in man, press man, or zone coverage. One thing I would like to see Hart improve on is his physicality in press man coverage. He's shown the quickness and he's shown some instincts in press man. However, he doesn't really have a great initial punch on the line. I would like to see his physicality improve just a little bit more. Another area of Hart's that is concerning is his ball production. We discussed it earlier, but he really hasn't been super productive at finding the football in the air. One of the big reasons for that is he really struggles with his back turn to the quarterback. He doesn't do a good job of turning his body around and trying to find the football in the air to make a play. It's something that I am a little concerned about, and it's something a lot of scouts have been noting as a weakness in his game. Lastly, Hart does have an injury history. He has had surgery on both shoulders during his tenure at Notre Dame, and his medicals could cause him to slip a little bit in the draft. Cam Hart is a very toolsy corner. He has some really high upside, and in the right system, I think he could be a very good player. There are a couple of things I would like to see him improve on, but nothing too major. Hart is my number 14 corner in the class. I like him quite a bit. I just think there are better, more productive corners in this class, and the injury history does worry me a tad. He is still a very good player, and Cam Hart is my number 75 player in this class. Hart is a very versatile piece to have in your secondary. I think he would be excellent in a heavy zone coverage scheme due to how he reacts super quickly and because he is at his best when he is facing the quarterback and can read his eyes. That is where I personally would put him if I was the defensive coordinator, but he has shown the ability to play all over the field in man-to-man coverage, and there's really a lot there for him in coverage that makes him a very scheme-versatile player. My player comparison for Cam Hart is Ahkello Witherspoon. Both tested out very, very well at the combine and were bigger corners who had a lot of the same tools coming in, long wingspan, and they're both very toolsy. Unfortunately for Witherspoon, he has bounced around the league a little bit, but I do think Cam Hart can be a better version of what we have seen from Witherspoon. Witherspoon hasn't been a terrible corner, but he hasn't been exactly what everyone had hoped for. I think Cam Hart can be a very, very good player. Cam Hart is a toolsy prospect. With great height, weight, and speed, and long arms, he is a player teams could easily fall in love with. There is a lot to like about him, and ultimately, I believe Cam Hart will be a top 75 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.